What makes Doron Yoga different than other practices? In a way, you could say it's an Ashtanga-based practice, which is true. I'm beyond grateful to the Ashtanga tradition for everything I've learned, whether it's the Pattabhi Jois Krishnamacharya lineage or all the way back to Patanjali. However, it's definitely not Ashtanga. I know I've done Ashtanga for a gazillion years, over 20 years, and yet eventually I developed a different system. Why? Truth is, Ashtanga is amazing. However, for me, I found that there is a very set sequence, and in the primary series, for example, where you do constantly forward folds, you're not going to really develop enough of your backbends, and then you're supposed to do deep backbends, meaning really drop backs before you move to second series, where you get to do some basic backbends that prepare you for that. I guess the first word I spoke before mommy and daddy was why. I asked why, and when I researched, I realized, okay, that part of second series, I would bring it earlier so more people can work on that. This is kind of how Doron Yoga started to develop. I shifted and changed from the Ashtanga sequence. However, I've learned some poses in Vinyasa classes, like Humble Warrior and others, that were really beautiful. In Vinyasa classes, what I found, oftentimes we were doing a sequence, one breath, one breath, one breath. For me, it was a bit rushed. I like to move fast, but I move fast enough in my life that I wanted to slow down in yoga. Why? Because when I get into a pose and coming out of the pose, I've noticed, especially with students in general, that that's where they get injured more than the pose itself. So going slower into and out of the pose is safer. Holding the pose a little longer is actually harder. The muscles get tired if you're holding a strong pose like a warrior, and if you're doing a stretching pose, a forward fold, a seated hip opener, you actually get to relax into the pose and to shift from the constant go, go, go sympathetic system to the parasympathetic system. Thus, eventually, I took some stuff from the Vinyasa, I took some stuff from Ashtanga, I studied some Iyengar to realize, oh, the foot should be like this, said Iyengar. Ashtanga said, we don't care, just do the pose and move with drishti, bandha, and with ujjayi breath. Came Vinyasa and said, let's make it fun and creative and really almost more about the teacher, so it's never boring because people wanted so much change in this day and age where we're used to constantly flipping channels, swiping, etc. I took the benefits of all of this, sprinkled some Kundalini, some Pranayama practices, a little bit of bhakti, sometimes some chanting, sometimes some singing that are not devotional Indian gods, but singing to our hamstrings. I figured if we make it fun, it'll be more enjoyable and we'll practice more. Take all this and wrap it with Zen, which said, just do it, find presence, be here, be now, but not as the cliche, be here now, but really see where your hand is moving, be present with every movement. And I realized we can create a system that builds nice muscle, a lot of flexibility, steadiness of mind, focus, presence, and even clarity. Because when we do all of this and we drop away some of our thinking mind, we start having answers to what really matters in life, to what our purpose is, to what would give us meaning. I tried to create a system, a method, which really selfishly served me first in a way that I knew would be an all-around system, that if I did just this for the rest of my life, I'm great. I've also learned from my students when I've watched them practicing. I taught for years in Silicon Valley in California, and I'm seeing people working on their chairs all day, and we expect them to do certain things that are not super healthy for them. This is why we see so many injuries. Yoga is supposed to heal you, fix you, not hurt you, right? Also, some of them were not efficient enough. They would go to Vinyasa classes over and over again for so many years, and they didn't really feel they progressed. Doron, I've done yoga for 8 years, and I still can't do headstand. I'm still not really in doing the splits. For me, that doesn't make sense. If you're practicing for a decade, all of this should be kind of under your belt. Not because we're doing this as, I want to get there, I need to do a headstand. It's just simply, if you're practicing correctly and efficiently, it will happen, whether you want it or not. I didn't even know what those fancy poses were, and at one point, I'm suddenly doing all of them. It just kind of happened. Yoga was not my biggest passion in life. I started as an artist, as a photographer. And yet, just by practicing this along else what I was doing, I was very dedicated. I did 5-6 times a week. It all started to open up, so much so that I became addicted. In a good way, right? I became addicted to the beautiful feeling of afterwards, of the calm and peace I had throughout the day, of feeling like a cat, where I could be relaxed and ready to do whatever I wanted, having the flexibility, having the power. And so I looked to take from all the great masters that were there before me and say, how can I combine it into a system which is easy to remember, easy to follow? There's 19 building blocks, and yet it's not so rigid like Bikram or Ashtanga where this is it, right? Within each building block, we have options, we have poses, we can move, we can change. So it's a sequencing system that you can learn in one short course, like my sequencing program, or in a full teacher training program, and leave, which is rare, actually confident to teach. I can't tell you how many students came to me after doing a teacher training in India or elsewhere and saying, Doron, it was fun, we ate great Indian food, we chanted, some drew mandalas, but no, I don't feel confident to stand there and really lead a class. I'm not sure about how to sequence. We were learned about peak poses, or we learned just the Ashtanga sequence. That's all great, and it's a great foundation. I'm happy for you. However, in Doron Yoga, I really am looking to give you the best. I don't think perfectionism is a good thing, but sometimes it can be. I'm one of those that really asks questions and tries to refine to the best of my abilities. A bit of perfectionism, guilty. And yet I think that that really helped create a system that's far from perfect, but that is still, after taking thousands, tens of thousands of classes, I think it's one of the most efficient ones today. It is not the most efficient if you want to get cardio. But honestly, most yoga is not efficient for that. Go for a run, do jumping jacks, do squats. There are many ways to get more cardio than that. It will build muscles, but if you want it to beef up, go lift weights. I sometimes lift weights because I sometimes want to get more of that power. Not a lot, because I feel like my body is good enough and I can do all of this and be strong enough. I don't need to be Mr. T. But if that's your goal, by all means do that and do this, right? So there are different ways that you can do different things depending on your goal. However, if you were going to do only one thing, I think the Doron Yoga system, the Doron Yoga Method, really ensures that you're balanced. You've gotten all your body movement, all the body strengthening, almost. Pulling, we do that on the belly. However, I admit, if you can hang or even do some pull-ups, that's one thing that in general doesn't exist a lot in any yoga, and that's one thing I would add. A bit of pulling movement and a bit of extra cardio. Other than that, I think this is a wonderful method, otherwise I would change it. For those of you practicing with me for a while that did my trainings, I'm always happy to hear, hey Doron, I found this, why don't you add this? I've had different suggestions and I've incorporated and implemented things I've learned from other people, even from my students, absolutely, to create and to keep Doron Yoga a living system that keeps improving over the years. I keep updating my manual, my teacher training manual. There's a link in the description. And I keep updating it over and over as I find more little things that I can add and do. My teacher training keeps evolving. Now, I think this is the recent one. We've filmed it a year ago, and it has, a ton of content, a ton. Almost overwhelming, but we broke it down to segments to make it easy ton and ton and ton of classes where you can practice beyond. We have over 500 videos in this channel alone. So much information. Really, you have years to study here. And with all that, I bring it back again to you to say, what else would you want to see? What else would you want to learn? What else are you curious about? Such as, why Doron Yoga? Happy to answer any question you have. I'm kind of like an open book. I'm here to serve. This is my goal for the rest of my life, to share all of my experiences, everything I've learned, while keep learning, so that we can all grow together. With all my love, I thank you for being part of this tribe, part of this family. Namaste. Beautiful people, thank you so much for staying with me until now. Please, please subscribe so you can see more of these hopefully helpful teachings. Are they helpful? If they are, give me a thumbs up. If they're not, write to me in the comments. What would you like to see more of? What would you like to see different? How can I be more of service?